Hello, I am live. We are live. A big warm welcome to all you fabulous women who are owning it now, right? And a big warm welcome to day 3. Oh my gosh, I am properly excited. And I hope you are too. Let me put this up. Let me put the little, yay, we've got a little button. Awesome. I hope you can see that. Let me check now. So bear with me. If you're here, say hello. Janine, are you with me or are you still trying to find me? I'm not sure. Let me have a quick look. So those of you who are watching back the replay, bear with me a second. Janine, hello. We are live. That means you can see me, which is awesome. And I can see me too. Fabulous. So I've got some great things to be sharing with you today. I'm super excited. We're going to be jumping into really looking into your aligned client attraction system. And so I'm going to be explaining exactly what that is. We're going to be looking at what aspects of it come into play for you and how you can hit those 5 to 10K months by putting that in place and taking massive action on it, right? So I'm just looking at me in the picture. I'm like, I've got really dark bags this morning. I must have gone to bed too late last night. Okay, so while I'm waiting for people to hop on, Janine, it's fab that you're here. There must be a button somewhere that tells me. Oh, I see. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes to see if anyone else hops on live because that would be awesome. And let me just tell you a very funny little story in the meantime, because I've just been extremely naughty and had a Cadbury's chocolate cream egg for my breakfast. And I was in the car when I was doing it. I took my daughter to the hi Elaine, awesome to see you here. I took my daughter to the dentist this morning and I hadn't had any breakfast. I spotted a little Cadbury's cream egg in my car, and so I was literally sat right outside. Oh, I look fab, thank you. I was literally sat right outside the dentist eating my Cadbury's cream egg, and it broke. And I got a top on, and it literally, like, the cream went all down me. And I had to go into the dentist, quite obviously, having eaten a Cadbury's cream egg. It was very embarrassing. Anyway, just wasting time while people get on. Awesome. We've got 5 people on. So we've got Janine, we've got Elaine. Who else? We've got Lucy. Hi, Lucy. We've got Faye. Hi, Faye. Fabulous. So if you hop on, say hi. Don't be a lurker. And if you're watching this back later, same goes. 100%. Don't be a lurker. Say hello. Take part, because that's when you get the most from this challenge. The writing's bigger today, isn't it? Why is the writing bigger? I don't know. It's a bit too big, but I don't know how to make it little, so I won't worry about it. Okay, so the first thing you could do, which would be super helpful, hi Cindy, is if you've got a buddy, try and tag them in, because I just want to make sure, obviously the news feed in Own It Now Facebook group is really busy at the moment, right? Because everyone's posting all this stuff, which is fabulous and so awesome to see. I absolutely love it when people are being visible in there and posting. So massive well done, massive thank you for taking action on that. But because it's busy, people are missing some of the videos, I think. So it would be really helpful if you just tagged in your buddy, if you have one, or any friends that you've got in the group, to make sure that they see this and it doesn't get a bit lost in all the other posts that are happening in the group. That would be fabulous. Okay, so we're going to really dive into creating your aligned client attraction system. And let me explain what I mean by that, because both yesterday and the day before, we really looked at mindset, right? I love Cadbury's cream eggs. I'm so excited when they come out on literally like Boxing Day. So Claire, focus. Yesterday and the day before, day 1 and 2, we've really focused on mindset, right? Because mindset is huge and we've got to take action to get our mindset in the right place so that we can show up every day, so that we can share our light, so that we can be truly us, so that we can work at our highest level, so that we can make those 5 to 10K months and beyond, because there's so much more beyond that, right? So mindset is massive, but let's not pretend that strategy isn't important, because it absolutely is. Because if you're not doing something that's aligned, that works, and a system that brings in those ideal clients, then you're wasting your time. And it doesn't matter how much mindset work you might do, you could make that journey really long. And in many ways, I made that journey far longer for myself than I needed to, until it all finally clicked and it happened. So I really want to talk about creating your aligned client attraction system. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is I hear it all the time. People go, I just need to know where to find my clients, where to find my ideal clients. And it's almost like in your own head, there's this search happening, and almost sometimes a bit of desperation around it, right? And I know it because I've been there. I've totally recognized this, and I felt like that before myself. So how many times have you felt that yourself? Just give me a thumbs up or a little love heart where you've been, oh, I just need to find like my ideal clients. I just need to find some more clients. And you've almost felt like that searching, maybe a little bit of desperation, because it's like, come on. Like, I love doing this. I just need to make more money. I just need to make it work. I just need to find my clients. But when we think about it as like this search and us trying to find our clients, it's not quite right, because actually our ideal clients, hi Linda, our ideal clients are everywhere. We are surrounded by hundreds and hundreds and thousands of human beings that we see, that we walk past, that we connect with every single day of our lives. Clients are in abundance. There are millions and trillions of clients, right? What it's actually about is you showing up fully. You sharing what you do, you sharing your story, you being brave enough to be visible and really show people what you're about, you owning it when it comes to your business, so that your ideal clients notice you. Hi, who was that? Clara. Hi, Clara. So it's about you showing up, you owning it, so that they see you, because your ideal clients are everywhere. It's not about having to find them as such. So that's the first mindset little shift I want you to create around this. The second little mindset shift I want you to create around this is that it doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to be some system with lots of nuts and bolts and craziness happening to get you to your first 5 to 10K months. Now, I think the truth is, when you're wanting to go beyond that, it's worth investing in bigger systems and bigger strategies sometimes. But I know, because I did it month after month after month after month, that I was hitting those 5 to 10K months without putting any of the real complicated bits like clever funnels and all of that kind of thing into place. And I actually held myself back. So there were some of those months where I got in a bit of a mindset, and I got in a bit of a scarcity, and I was a bit like, oh, I've done it now for so many months. Now I need to get serious in my business and do it properly, right? Do you recognize that? Have you ever felt like that? I was like, I don't quite know how I've been doing this like 5K or 6K or 7K. And to be honest, when I was looking at like my money tracking that I do all the time, I was like adding it up at the end of the month, and I was a little bit in awe and a little bit like, oh my God, like I did it again. I managed it again. And it felt like, to be honest, it felt like a bit of a fluke. I won't lie. It felt like a bit of a fluke, because I was like, I don't really know how I'm doing this. But that was bullshit, right? I did know how I was doing it. I just wasn't allowing myself to see that, because I was a bit scared. And so I would tell myself this story of, I need to get my business in order now, and I need to create a proper system rather than just doing what I'm doing. And so I would take myself off, and this is another trap. So watch out for it if you haven't fallen in it already. And I would take myself off to try and learn this like next level system. And I'd put loads of time and effort into it. And it just wouldn't work. And I would come back, and then I'd do the same thing again that I'd always done, and it would work again. It took a long time for me to realize that you don't need to overcomplicate it. It doesn't need to be some singing, whistling, bells on system that has every single part of it. The most important thing is that you own it when you're showing up. And I'm going to talk to you about the 4 keys that you need in place in your client attraction system, so that you're hitting those 5 to 10K months every month with ease, in a way that, like me, you might look at your business and you might go, don't know how I'm doing this, feels like it's a bit of a fluke, but it's happening, so it's good, so I'm going to keep on going, rather than getting in the mindset of, so now I need to get serious. Because actually, and I think you're here for a reason, right? Because, and this is part of that client attraction system, aligned client attraction system, and it's because you've been attracted into my space because we are aligned, because you are probably on a similar journey that I've been, and because we've probably got some of our top values in common. And that's really important, right? Because when we're running an aligned client attraction system, we're bringing in those clients who are truly aligned to us. We're bringing in those clients who resonate with our story. We're bringing in clients who really hold those same top values as us. And for me, it's things like it's love and it's fun and it's connection and it's making a difference. And so business for me was never supposed to feel serious or hard or actually all that sensible. We can go really deep, and don't get me wrong, I work with people on some huge mindset issues and who have been through unbelievable things in their life, right? But we don't always need to be heavy and hard and serious and boring as hell. Actually, what's awesome is that we can just be us in our business, and we can attract the right clients by being more us and being more fun and having more fun and just like loving the whole process. Because Valentine's Day today, right? Isn't it all about love? For me, it is. And I can actually say, and think about this in your own business, I can actually put my hand on my heart and tell you, and there's some of those awesome women here right now, that I love every single one of my clients. Every single one of my clients, I'm excited to get on a call with them. Every single one of my clients, I would happily go away for a weekend with them or go out for dinner with them, because they're awesome, awesome women who I feel really connected to. And so I feel so lucky waking up every single day to get on calls and coach these fabulous women who I absolutely adore. And it feels just so easy and so right and so aligned and so purpose-based, because actually while I'm doing what I love, I also know that I'm making a difference. Does that resonate? Is that like a hell yes? And is that what you want? Maybe you've already got it in your business, Lucy. Gorgeous. Maybe you've already got it in your business and you're like, yes, I've already got that and I just need more of it. Or maybe you're like, oh, at the moment, I'm not sure. I want more of those ideal clients that I really connect with. And I quite often call them soul clients or soulmate clients, because they're those ones who, like, we get each other, right? Cindy, that's so true. Awesome. Fabulous. Okay, so let's dive into the first K. Helen, hell yes. Woohoo! Yes. Awesome. Love it. Fabulous. So let's dive into the 4 keys of your aligned what is it? Your aligned client attraction system. Janine, awesome, fabulous. Okay, so key number 1 that you need to have in place. Write this down because you might want to come back to it. You might want to do something with it later. So being visible. So it's being visible to your ideal clients and expert positioning. Okay, because this is a really important thing to remember. There is no scarcity of ideal clients. There is an abundance of ideal clients out there. There are tons and tons and tons. There is no such thing as scarcity when it comes to clients. But what's important is that when we put our message out, when we are visible, when we're sharing the things that we want to share, that we're connecting with our ideal clients. So what I mean by that is, my ideal client is not a man in his 50s who likes horse racing, right? That is not my ideal client. So I would not waste time going to the horse racing place that, you know, what's it called, where you put on your bets, the betting thing down the road, and look for my ideal clients there. I would not be going in Facebook groups that was full of old men. I would not, right, you get it. It's a bit of a crazy example, but you get it, right? Don't go and hang out at the places where your ideal clients don't hang out, because it doesn't make any sense. And sometimes, you know, I see people and they're like, you know, I keep posting my stuff and I keep sharing it, but I'm not getting anything back. And it's because they're not really thinking about where they're putting that message out there. So we really need to think about, firstly, and lots of you will have done lots of this work already, but there's like no end to how deep we can dig into this. So firstly, it's recognizing, well, who is my ideal client? Or even taking that step further, who is my soul client, who I adore, who I feel excited to wake up in the morning and work with? Who is she or he? Who is it that makes you really excited because you really want to work with them, and you know deep down inside of you that you can get them results? It's probably someone who's been on your journey, but they're a few steps back. And so you've been on that journey, you've learned on your journey, you've like filled your toolbox full of things that helped you on that journey, and now you're ready to help them too. So really think about your ideal client, and then think about, well, where does your ideal client like to hang out? And this is a really important thing. So I'll quite often say, go and connect with Facebook groups, and tell people about what you do and connect with your ideal clients there. And one of the comments that comes up a lot is people will say, well, won't I be upsetting the person who runs the group? And here's the thing, right? And I'm going to use the relationship thing as an example. So if you're a relationship coach, you don't need to go into another relationships coaches group to find ideal clients in there. In fact, I wouldn't go there. Instead, I think, well, where else would my ideal client hang out? Well, actually, she might love yoga. Actually, she might, she might be part of running clubs. She might also be a businesswoman. So maybe she's in like entrepreneurial groups, but I can share my message about it being about love and connection and like, I don't know, how you date men or how you have relationships or whatever it might be in that group. And she'll see that it will connect with her. So it's not always the whole, you don't need to be going into a group that is the same as what you do. Actually, you can go into a group that really complements what you do, because then it doesn't feel icky and you're not stepping on toes and you're not thinking, oh my gosh, like, am I going to upset someone in the group? Because actually you're just adding value into the group. You're not taking anything away at all. So that's just a bit of a sidetrack, but think about it. So I want you to start thinking about that visibility. And there's obviously a couple of levels to it, right? Because it's visibility, but it's also to your ideal clients, and it's also expert positioning, because it's easy to show up and not be, you had written yoga, I just written yoga and running group. Awesome, Cindy. So what's really easy is that, I've lost my train of thought. What's my thing? The expert positioning. Yeah. It's really easy to show up sometimes and not position ourselves as the expert. And this is something I've been working on in my own business for the past 6 months. I've been working on owning it a bit more and really going, you know what? I can get these results for women. I've got these results for so many women for so many years. It's time that I owned it. And I had to go through my own little journey around owning it, which is why this is all about owning it, because it's about owning it when it comes to your expertise. It's about owning it when it comes to your story. It's about owning it that you are the expert, God damn it, because this has been your journey and you've probably invested money and time and effort and love and all kinds of other things into this so that you can make it profitable, so that you can spend your life doing it, so that you can make a difference and you can make a great income, right? So it's time to start owning it. It's time to actually talk about the results that you get your clients. It's time to talk about the fact that you've spent years or so much money on all the training that you've done. It's time to own it about your vision and what you're wanting to create and sharing that with people. That's how you show up as the expert. And it's about putting your opinion out there and not being scared of upsetting someone else. So you'll all have heard it, right? You don't want to be the like vanilla of the ice creams. You want to be a flavor that's bold and people love or hate you. And the way that you create that is that you be as you possibly can. You like pull out even more and more and more of you and you share that. So a big part of my business is I believe we can, because I believe we can build a business that we feel passionate about, that we love, and that's our life, so that you never feel like you're actually working a day in your life. Hi, Helen, because you get up every single morning and you get to just be you and you get to make a difference and you get to live this life to the fullest that you possibly can, right? That's truly what I believe. But I know there are experts out there who are like, you don't work your passion. You work your business and then you put your business on like automatic. So then you live your life with passion. So there's some experts who are like, fingers up to the whole, creating a business that you're passionate about and that you love, because they're like, no, you build a business that you automate and then you go do what you love. But I'm like, that doesn't work for me at all. When I read that, I'm like, hell no. So, that's something that I've talked about in the past. That's something I've shared, and it's quite interesting, right? Because it ruffles a few feathers. I've got a really, really good friend who is massive on Facebook ads. She's like the Facebook ad queen, and she loves systems and she loves the intricacies of it and she loves the numbers of it. And me and her, again, have got very different beliefs around how we show up and how we build a business. What's interesting is that our businesses are at a similar level, but we built them so differently. So you positioning yourself as the expert, you sharing your opinions, you saying, this is what I believe, Lucy, so believe that, absolutely. You share it, like you saying, you know, I think this and I think this and I stand for this and, you know, I feel strongly about this, like, do it. And there'll be some people who are like, oh God, no, don't agree with that. And there'll be some people who are like, oh my God, yes. So don't be afraid to really stand out as the expert and share from that place and give value from that place. So what I want you to think about first in relation to like key number one is, where do you want to be visible? And how do you want to be visible? Because what's amazing is that with all the technology that we've got, we can be visible in so many ways. And so I want you to do a bit of a brainstorm here. Janine, what have you put? Totally agree with you. Build some business you love and are passionate about. That's what you do with your yoga business. Awesome, Janine. So you can help me. Let's do a brainstorm, right? I want you to think about all the different places and all the different ways that we can be visible as purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So give me some. Obviously, one very clear one would be Facebook Lives, because I'm on it right now, right? But I don't want to give these all to you. So answer me. Come on. I want your answers. What are all the ways that you can now be visible in your business, online and offline? Give me some. Helen, Lucy, Janine, Elaine, Cindy. Who else with me? Faye, Helen, Clara, Linda, Elaine. Come on, tell me. I know there's a little bit of a delay. So tell me all the ways, and really think of some. Oh, I'm going to tell you a story. As you're typing this in, I'm going to tell you an important story. You'll like this one. So Instagram, that's one. Awesome. Come on, everyone. Get going. Type it in. Take part. So as you're typing them in, keep on typing it in. I'm going to tell you this little story. Because when it comes to visibility, it's really good to think outside of the box, right? And when I first started my business in New Zealand, so when I was doing the face-to-face coaching that I used to do, I would spend a lot of time in the local mall where I lived. There was this gorgeous coffee shop and bookshop, right? And they had loads and loads of books, and it was like the best coffee and the best chocolate cake ever. And I spent way too much time there. And they had this huge self-development section in the book area. And what I decided to do is every week I went in and I had a little flyer. My business was called Swish NLP then, because I was mainly focusing using NLP techniques to really help create change for people. And I would go into the bookshop, I'd pick the like personal development books off the shelf, and I would put my little flyer inside the book and put it back on the shelf, right? And what would happen all the time, every week I would probably get maybe 10, 11, 12 phone calls from people who'd be like, hi, I've just been in the bookshop in Albany looking for a book on like this phobia that I've got, and your card was inside it. And so I thought I'd give you a ring and see if you can help me, right? And so often people would be like, it was like a message from the universe that I opened this book because I was feeling really stuck. And I opened this book because I was feeling really stuck, and like your leaflet was in it. And I was just like, oh my God, this is a sign, I've got to ring her. And I would always giggle a little bit, because actually it was a message from the universe, because I got the message to put it in the book, right? It didn't just happen by itself. But that was a totally out of the box way that I got a lot of clients. Now, I haven't done that in England, because I don't know if I'd get away with it in England, right? I'm not sure. You might do, who knows, right? But in New Zealand, that was like, it was brilliant. And I found it really fun as well. So I got a lot of ideal clients, because I was choosing the books that I put it in specifically, and they were picking up those books because they were like, oh, I'm stuck and I need help. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll call. Yes, help me. So think about those outside of the box ways. Okay, let me have a look at. Oh my gosh, there's loads and loads of comments. Hi, Lynn, you're on here as well. Okay, so we've got. Oh my gosh. So we've got events, we've got talks at workshops, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Instagram, we've got networking groups, we've got Twitter, we've got, hang on, let me scroll down a little bit. We've got commenting on posts, Facebook Lives, Instagram blogging, YouTube, public speaking, more networking. Suzanne, hi. We've got retreats, For me, it's workshops and talks outside of FB Live or FB group challenges that you do. Awesome, Elaine. Instagram and Facebook stories, Instagram emails, ads, Twitter, Pinterest, networking, talks, local groups, absolutely. Hosting client meetings in health cafes, loudly enough to spark interest in others. I love it, Becky. That's funny. Being loud enough to get other people's interests. Awesome. Okay, I think is that everyone. I need to create a Facebook page and be more on purpose on Instagram. Love it. Okay. Fabulous. Garden centres. I've offered free 2-hour talks. Amazing, right? Fabulous. So there's loads of ideas there, right? Just in itself, tons of ideas. So what I want you to do, and here's this is really important, actually. I should have maybe talked about this at the beginning. This is really important. Because here's a trap that we can fall into, and it's used. God, I've talked a lot about traps, haven't I? I need to find a new word for that. But it is a trap that we fall into. When you think about creating an aligned strategy or an aligned system or whatever it might be, the go-to place that you can think about is what's aligned with where I am now. But if you take aligned action on where you are now, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get the same results that you're currently getting because you're in your comfort zone because it's aligned with where you are now, right? So you might say to me, well, at the moment, it feels out of alignment for me to do Facebook Lives and share on Facebook Lives. However, the next level you who feels more confident, has a belief, is properly rocking and rolling it and owning it, right? That version of you might be like, hell yes, bring on the Facebook Lives. I am ready for them. Okay, so there might be a huge difference in what's aligned for you at the level you're at now versus what's aligned for you at your next level. Okay, so I want you to really think about that for a moment. Yesterday we talked about you stepping into that next level you getting clear on that next level you. And I know lots of people put things like, I'd be more confident, I'd have better beliefs, I'd work on my mindset, I'd take more action, there are all these kind of things. So I really want you to think again about this next level you, because we want to align you with the next level you. So at the moment, that action will feel scary because it's out of your comfort zone. Okay. But that's the action that's going to get you massive results. That's the action that's going to move you leap and bounds forward rather than just slow step by step, inch by inch, improving your income and building your business. So I really want you to think about that. So when it comes to visibility, what would the next level you be aligned with doing? That's a really important question. Elaine, aha moment there. Totally makes sense. Yes. And it's huge and it's really important. It's massively important because if we do the thing that's aligned with the version of us now, we'll keep on getting what we've already been getting. We need to align ourselves with the next level of us. And this is why it's scary, right? This is why we need someone to hold our hand. This is why we need a coach. This is why we need someone to put their arm around us as we walk across that bridge, because it can feel scary because it's new, because we're way out of our comfort zone. And a lot of the time we won't push ourselves enough to do it ourselves, or we'll do it a bit and then we'll freak out and we'll go back into our comfort zone again. So what I really want to know is what's aligned for you. When you think about you being visible at the next level you that's aligned, what might that be that you're not doing now? So it's probably one of those things that's already come up, right? So for you, is it talks? Is it the retreats? Is it like regular Facebook Lives? Is it maybe that you've done lives in a group that you have because it feels safe, but you want to be able to do lives on your business page and show them more? Have a think about it. So Helen's put, is Facebook Live always an absolute must? But nothing is an absolute must, Helen. Nothing is an absolute must. I love Facebook Lives because I feel like I can connect. So Facebook Lives are brilliant for connection, but there are so many people, sorry, phone beeping. There are so many people who have built a business without ever going on Facebook Live. So please don't feel there's not one thing that you must be doing in your business. You get to do it how you choose to do it. The important things are that you show up fully within that form. So it might be writing for you instead. It might be blogging. It could be, you could write a book, it could be whatever you want. You do not need to worry about Facebook Lives if that's not your thing. But check in with your next level you and check in that it's not your thing at the next level you. So that's what I want you to do. So what else have we got? We've got Lucy, public speaking and Facebook Lives. Awesome. I love it. So that's the visibility that's aligned with the next level you. It scares the life out of you. I know, but I also know, Lucy, that you are an absolute natural at Facebook Lives and you'll be amazing at public speaking. Helen, thanks so much for that, Claire. Awesome, Helen. You're very welcome. Okay, so what else? Have we got any other comments that have come in? What else are you thinking, or are you just not wanting to quite commit to it in front of the group? So I want you to think about what is it for the next level you, and I want you to write that down. And if you don't write it down right now, you need to revisit this because this is really important. This is one of the keys to you hitting those 5 to 10K months. And it's about getting visible with the next level version of you in terms of what's aligned so that people see you, so that you position yourself as the expert. And a big part of that, which I haven't really touched on yet, is owning your story, right? Because this is a really important part. Our ideal clients, a lot of the time, connect with us because they connect with our story. And when we share our story, they recognize a part of themselves in that story. So I want you to think back over the last few days, both today, yesterday, and day one. And when I've been telling you different parts of my story, how many times have you gone, oh God, yes, I recognize that. I felt like that. I've felt like that before. I've been stuck in that place. I know what you're talking about. Oh God, she gets me. I've been there. How many times have you felt like that, right? And so it's really important for you to look inside of yourself and say, what is my story? What is my story? What is my message that's about my journey, so that I can share that, so I can share my passion, so that I can share my journey, so I can share the fact that, you know what, I was once there too. And this is proof to you that if I could do it, you can do it. Because I'm just normal, right? I'm so normal. And so if I can do it, you can do it. And that's what's important about sharing our story, because it allows people to connect. So I also want you to think about, when it comes to that expert positioning, it's also about you being brave enough to being a bit vulnerable and sharing your story. And it can feel vulnerable and it can feel scary. And you know what, there might be parts of your story that you're not ready to share yet, or you feel inappropriate to share, but share some of your story at least, and then allow it to grow and allow yourself to play with it and experiment with it, because it's your story that's really going to connect with your ideal clients. It's your story that's going to be really powerful for them, so that they see, they're like, oh my God, this person has walked in my shoes. This person gets it. This person can help me. So I really want you to think about that. And again, it doesn't need to be in lives that you do that. It can be in blogs. It can be in books. It can be on pre-recorded videos. It can be on podcasts. It can be just, there are so many ways. It can be at networking. It can be in person. Let me see. Elaine, for the next level me, it's getting out there, teaching and spreading the skills I teach to empower folk to heal themselves. Love it. Help themselves out of stress and anxiety and feel and move forward in life. Fabulous, Elaine. So maybe the next step for that for you is thinking about, well, what are some of those places, and starting to create a bit of a brainstorm or a bit of a list about where those places are that you could contact now. You're reading a book, Becky, How to Tell Your Story to the World. Fabulous. Brilliant. That sounds lovely. That sounds brilliant. But also, don't overcomplicate it, right? Because you all know, you know your stories because it's you. So I promise you, you do know your story. You just need to own it. You need to write it. And the more that you share it, the better you get at telling that story, and the more confident you get at telling that story. Okay, God, let me move on to number 2, because I'm running really slowly again. Okay, so number 2 is giving value and building that trust and connection. Because the world's changed. Unless someone's going out to buy like pens or food or whatever, and even then they might really think about where they're going to buy them from. People like to buy from a place that they trust, that they feel connected to, that feels in alignment with their values. It's very rarely, and especially if you're a business that's around helping people move forward in their life in whatever way it might be, that people are just going to buy without knowing you. So there's very little point in cold selling to people, right? The point is, we need to be out there, we need to be showing up, we need to be sharing our story, we need to be owning it, so that our ideal clients notice us and they take a step closer to us and they think, aha, I want to know more. So then we need to be able to give them value. We need to be able to build that know, like, trust to another level. And again, there are loads of ways that you can do that. It could be that you hold like a monthly meetup group locally, and that those people keep coming every month, and that you really build that relationship. It could be that you have a Facebook group where you nurture them, where you show up regularly. So again, they get to know you. It could be on email, that you send out regular emails and you share your story and you give value within that, right? So there's loads of different ways that you can give that value. It could be live webinars, it could be automated webinars, it could be recordings, it could be Facebook Lives, it could be, it could be like checklists, it could be blogs, it could be help sheets, it could be, there are just so many things, right? I'm sure you're getting the picture. So think about how you want to give that value, and think about how you can start connecting with them more. So how do you bring them one step closer to you? So say, let's use Facebook as an example because it's really obvious. Say someone notices you on Facebook. You need to be able to put at the end of posting things, hey, if you want to know more about this, come and join me in my group, or come and join me on my page, or send me a message and say hi, or send me a question, right? You need to give them a next step so they can take a step closer to you, so they can build that know, like, and trust even more. It might be opting in to something so that you then have them on your mailing list. There's tons of different ways. If it's in person that you've met someone, it might be connecting with them on Facebook. So again, you've got that extra bit of connection. You're bringing them one step closer so you can build that know, like, and trust to the next level. And it's really, really important. And again, do it in absolute alignment with the next level you. So think about, what would the next level version of you be sharing? What content would the next level version of you be giving? How would the next level version of you be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone that bit more to deliver value at an even bigger level? Okay, so think about that and then deliver from that place. I'm going to move on to point 3 because I think we've got that one pretty much in the bag. So key number 3 is your selling with soul method. Your selling with soul method, your hell yes offer, and closing the sale. Right, so there's 3 parts. This one's a big one. So like the first one's a big one, middle one's a bit easier, third one's a big one again. So your selling with soul method. I want you to get clear and just decide on how, when it comes to actually putting that offer in front of people and doing it, and notice I say selling with soul, because for us, we need to connect the fact that when we sell, we're making a difference in the world. When we sell, we're giving a part of ourselves. We are helping that person in ways that we can't even imagine. We need to change that word selling, because I think for some people, it feels icky, it feels uncomfortable. They have lots of beliefs around the word selling, because maybe you remember like the man knocking on your door trying to sell stuff, or maybe you remember conversations of your parents when they'd be annoyed for someone selling it, and maybe you've had all those cold calls that piss you off. We need to reframe how we think of the word selling. You'll see lots of coaches and things, instead of using the word selling, they use a different word so that people don't get stuck around the word selling. But you know what? What if we just reframe it so that selling feels good? Because every time we think of the word selling, we absolutely connect it with the fact that we're making a difference. We're changing lives. We're doing good in the world every single time we sell. So there's nothing icky about it at all. It's absolutely fabulous. And in a way, it's the biggest gift that we can give to the world. So I want you to think about, if you've got issues around the word selling, just maybe park them and think, actually, what am I missing here around selling, and how could I instead connect with how selling means that I can give value, selling means that I can change lives. So really start thinking about that. And I believe that absolutely 100%. It's a massive belief of mine. So just choose to take it on as a new belief. So you're selling with soul method. There's loads of different ways we can sell, right? We can get on a phone call and sell to someone. We can go face to face like this and sell to someone. We can sell at the end of like a sales page where someone just clicks the button and sells. We can send someone to another site to buy something. There are tons of different ways. I want you to think about how you sell. Now, if you give a service, like you're a coach or consultant of some kind, it's worth thinking about having a conversation possibly with those ideal clients when they need help. So I always will offer a one-to-one with people, a free one-to-one with people, to talk through where they are now, where they want to get to, and actually how I could help them achieve that. And what I always say, and this is really important, right, because if it's out of alignment, you won't do it. For me, I show up to that call and I just want to give value. It doesn't matter for me whether they say yes or no at the end. I trust that I bring it to the call. I own it in that call. I help that person as much as I can. And if they're the right person for me, they will say yes. And then I'll be able to help them and get them the results they want. If they're not quite right, that's okay. There's no stress. There's no problem, right? Because I'm not getting on that person on the call because they have to say yes. I'm getting that person on the call so that I can share my message, so I can give value, so I can connect. So actually I'm fulfilling some of my higher values. And so if you are one of those people who do a sales call, a discovery call, think about how you can do it in alignment again with the next level you, so that there's no ickiness about it, there's no pressure about it. Because I remember when I first started doing discovery calls, I put massive pressure on myself. I was like, I've got to sell on this call. I have to get this client to say yes because there aren't enough clients in the world and I can't find enough clients. Do you know what I mean? Ever felt like that? And when we get on a call in that energy, the other person feels it. The other person is not going to say yes when we're in that energy. So take a moment when you think about doing those discovery calls or whatever it is that you might call them. When you think about, when you meet up with that person for coffee to share the business opportunity or whatever it might be, instead of coming from that place of scarcity of, oh my gosh, like, how do I get this person to say yes? Instead, you just show up knowing that you're enough, knowing that you're more than enough, and knowing that if that person's aligned and that if you're the right fit, they're going to be a hell yes. They might be scared about saying yes because it's normal to feel scared as hell about making that leap and saying yes to something new, right? But they'll still know inside. They'll know that it feels right. So I want you to think about what your selling with soul method is. And then that leads us on to a hell yes offer, right? Because you need to believe in your offer. I know, again, when I first moved back to the UK, I was offering coaching at a really low price, and it drained the hell out of me. And the reason I was doing that because I felt desperate, right? I felt desperate. I didn't fully believe in myself enough. I was in this whole I can't find clients thing. I'll just make my prices lower, make my prices lower, make my prices lower. But what happened in that place is I had to get lots of clients, right, to be making the kind of money that I needed to make. And so energetically, I was drained. I was worn out. I was not creating this beautiful product that I could put in front of a client and go, you know what? This is the answer. This is the thing that's going to get you from where you are now to where you want to be. And it's this beautiful, fabulous offer that I am so excited about that I literally feel like I've pulled my soul out of myself and poured it into this fabulous container. And I'm really excited about what this is, because when you feel that excitement, when instead you leave behind the scarcity mindset of, oh, I can only charge X, Y, and Z, or, I can only charge this much, so I'll just do this many sessions and it's only this and it's only this and it's only this. We're not serving our clients fully. We need to be able to find the way that we can serve them fully, that we can support them to that end result. So you need to think about, well, what does that container need to be? It might need to be a big container. And if it's a big container, what would you put in there to make it an amazing experience, to make it a hell yes offer? Because you know inside of yourself that this is a program that's going to create absolute transformations, that this is a program that's going to move your client forward, and they're going to see the results and they're going to feel amazing, and they're going to look back and they're going to be like, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever invested in. Because you've got to have that belief in what you're selling. Because if you don't have it, no one else is going to have it. If you're not sure, if you're uncomfortable, if you're like, it's kind of just this, other people aren't going to say yes. You've got to own it. You've got to love your program. You've got to, whether it's like one-to-one, small group, big group, mastermind, in person, online, like whatever format it takes, you've got to own it. You've got to be in love with that thing that you're putting out there, and you've got to trust that it will get people the results that you want them to get and that they want to get, right? So really think about this. Helen says, stop breathing so fast, Claire, calm down. I get a bit overexcited sometimes, I apologize. Helen says, this totally speaks to me. A big one to think about. Awesome, Helen. Now, I know that there are some network marketers in here. I know we've got coaches, we've got some consultants. I know we've also got some network marketers. And so I'm just going to take one moment to talk about the network marketers. Liz says you love this. Thank you, Liz. So if you're a network marketer, you still have something that you're offering people. I want you to think about how you you position your offer. So I'm going to use Arbonne as an example, because I've got a lot, I certainly did have a lot of Arbonne clients. I've shifted a bit in terms of who I'm working more with now. But for example, say it's Arbonne. There are loads of different products. There's makeup, there's skincare, there's nutrition. Decide which one you want to roll with. Decide which one you want to get really comfortable with, and lead with that, so you can build a brand around it, so you can feel connected with it, so that you can be like, with the nutrition, for example, if you use nutrition and if you're like, wow, this nutrition changed my life because it helped me really put the food into my body that I needed to, it changed my eating habits, I started looking after myself, I then had the energy to exercise. If you have that belief, then you've got this product that's a hell yes offer, because you believe in it fully. So you still need to make sure that you connect, even if it's jewelry, whatever it might be, it needs to be a hell yes offer. Right. Liz said that. Elaine, this is so what I needed to hear, as I've shared my ideas with 2 friends who totally talked me down regarding price. Not something I'll be doing again, as it stopped me from launching my courses. Yes. Oh my God, Elaine. Yes, yes, and yes. We've got to be so careful who we talk to around our prices. We've got to be so careful. Let me tell you this. I was sharing with a close friend of mine the other day about the new program I was putting together. And her words were, and she's a solicitor, she's got her own practice, she charges out at like £500 an hour or something ridiculous, right? And I told her about the new program, and I told her, and she was like, that's so expensive. If I need to talk problems through, I just go to my counsellor, and they're £60 an hour. And I was like, well, maybe your counsellor is £60 an hour, and that's all awesome. However, I feel great charging this, because the results people are going to get, they're going to make double that back before we've even finished the program, right? And there are so many reasons why I bring this. And she questioned me, and I left feeling really deflated. And we all can have those moments if we share our offer with the wrong people who just don't get it, because they don't see the value. They don't realize that it creates such transformation. I've never coached that friend of mine. She doesn't know what I do. She doesn't know the results that I get for people. She doesn't know the time and the effort and the love and everything that I put into my business. She's got no idea. She shows up and she charges a massive thing for a client, and I'm like, oh my God, like, a client never has to come to you if they come to me first. I didn't say that, but, and I'm making a bit of a joke about it, but please don't go to like your best friend who doesn't get it, who's not in your world, and say, this is what I'm doing, what do you think? Because the chances are they won't get it, and they'll rip it apart, and you'll leave and you'll be like, oh, this will never work. This, my prices are too high. I should be charging £40 an hour. And the truth is, you can, if you're a coach or a consultant, you cannot have a sustainable business on £40 an hour. You just can't. You can't. And I know, because I tried it, and I tried it for quite a long time. And it nearly killed me. And it stopped me actually from making the impact that I knew I could create. It absolutely stopped me. And it stopped my clients from making the impact that they could, because I wasn't stretching them enough. Because it wasn't like oh my God, I'm all in. When we say yes to something scary and we go, oh my God, I'm all in, transformation already happens before they've even started the program, because they've said yes to themselves, because they've actually chosen to believe in themselves enough to say yes to something that's really scary. And it's normally a monetary amount, because normally that's totally linked, right? So I really want you to think about that and push it, because the more you push yourself, the more you're going to push your clients, the bigger results they're going to get. I promise you. I've been doing this long enough to know, to see it again and again and again. The bigger the stretch, the bigger the push, the bigger the results at the end of it, and the more they're like, oh my God, this is amazing, thank you so much. So please trust in yourself around this. Trust in yourself and create an offer that feels amazing and beautiful and you feel so connected and excited about, because that's the one that people will say yes to. Okay, so, and closing the sale, right, I need to say just a little bit about closing the sale. And I know that everyone's businesses isn't necessarily about a sales call or a discovery call or something else, but people, if you're putting a big offer out there, or even if it's just something that people are going to have to get out of their comfort zone to say yes to, they're going to have objections. They're going to have objections, because guess what part of their brain it is that's objecting? It's their ego, because our ego is designed to keep us safe, to keep us in our comfort zone. Our ego is the old part of our brain. It's our lizard brain that when we were cave people stopped us from being eaten alive, right? So our ego was an important part of his, but our ego will hold us back, and our ego will try and keep us in the same place. And so whenever you're having a conversation with a potential client, their ego is going to kick in, and their ego is going to say things like, I don't think I can afford it. I don't think I have enough time. What would my husband say? What if this doesn't work? What if, like, she can't get me the results? What if? They're going to plant all these seeds of doubt. And your client, no doubt, is going to start saying, oh, I don't know. I don't think I can afford it. Let me tell you something about, like, the biggest objection you'll come across is, I can't afford it. And you know what? Who can afford it? But actually, who can afford not to do it? Because most of the time, we don't have the money to make that investment. Most of the time, that investment is a huge leap for us. It means credit cards. It means trust. It means, like, oh my God, I've got to make this happen. Because that's the thing that pushes us enough to get us the results. And I know, like, and I've made, God, I no idea how much I spent over the years on my personal development stuff and coaches and trainings and all the rest of it. It's huge amounts, right? I know every time I've done that, I haven't had that money sitting in a bank account. I haven't even had that money sometimes on credit cards I can put it on. I've literally jumped and just trusted that I'll make the money and find a way to do it as I've gone. And most people are in the same position, because if you've got the money in a bank account, it probably isn't a big enough stretch. You probably need a bigger stretch. So when people give that objection of, I can't afford it, you need to own the fact that maybe you feel like you can't afford it because you don't have the money now. But when we really want something, and you know, right, when you really want something, you make it happen. When I met my now husband, at first I wasn't sure, but when I decided that I wanted him. There was no way that guy was getting away from me. Anyway, he dumped me one time. He was the first person to ever dump me. And then he came back. He dumped me a second time, and then he came back. And I'll be honest, like, I was like, this guy is going nowhere. He is mine. He's mine. I decided I wanted it. There was no, like, oh, and let me tell you the words he said to me when he dumped me the second time. He said, "You're not marriage material." A year later, we got married. And I have to say, like, 12 years later, I'm still very happily married to him. I'm very much in love with him. So, you know what? And I bet you've got story, maybe not that kind of story, but you know, when you want something, you make it happen, and it's the same for everyone. So think about the main things that ego kicks up because it feels scary, and what are the things that the person needs to know, because actually, what's the best for that person? Is it best that they stay where they are? They say no, they say they can't afford it, or they say they need to speak to their husband, or they say that they haven't got time, or is it best for them that you give them that nudge, you push them outside the comfort zone, and you transform their life because of it? Because either they go and find the person of their dreams, they go and make the first 5 to 10K months, they build their business, a brand new business, and so they can leave a job that they hate, and they go and start getting fit and start, like, falling in love with yoga or whatever it might be, instead of always avoiding it. Like, what's the thing? What's that transformation, that massive change that you can make in their lives if they just say yes? You need to do it, because if you let them just say no, you're allowing them to stay in their comfort zone, and you're allowing them to continue to play small. Now, you can't make people say yes, but you can call them out on it, and you can have an honest conversation about it. You can say, you know what? I know this feels scary. However, X, Y, and Z. Use your own example. Use examples of people you've worked with, but share the fact that, you know what, it always feels scary because it's always something new, and people don't normally feel ready. And it's all about taking action before we are ready. You get it, right? That's a big one. So let me run through those keys. 4 keys. Number 1, visibility to ideal clients and expert positioning. But remember that visibility is at the next level version of you. That aligned visibility is at the next level version of you. Number 2, giving value and building that trust and connection. Really, really important. Think about how you want to do it. So it's in alignment, but it's in alignment with the next level you. And again, it's about consistency, because how many times, and this is important too, I've said the word important a trillion times. How many times have you started something and then you felt like you're not getting results, so you've stopped, and you've just stopped too soon? I'm sure you've seen that cartoon of, like, the men digging in the mine, and they like pack up to go home and like the diamond's like an inch further. We don't know how much further it is till we get to the diamond. Do not give up too soon. It always is going to take a bit longer than you think it is. I know, there's been times where I've posted something on Facebook, I've written this post or I've done this live and I've been like, oh, that was amazing. That was like the best thing I've ever written or the best live I've ever done. People are going to love it, right? And it's got like 2 little thumbs up and that's it. And I've been like, I thought that was amazing. Why has no one commented, right? And it's easy on those days. If you wanted to, it'd be easy to go, well, I'm not posting anything again because that was one of my best things and no one even liked it. But you'll also know that there's other times when you've posted something that you like, it's just been posted quickly and suddenly it's got like 60 likes and you're like, why has that got all those likes when that thing back there that was amazing, no one even noticed? And I think the other thing is, remember that lots of people are lurkers. There are lots of people who see your posts, who see your stuff, who don't comment, who don't take action, right? So don't give up. Whatever the strategy is, when you're putting this together and creating your aligned client attraction system, don't give up too soon. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, and keep that consistency up. Okay, so visibility, ideal clients and expert positioning. Giving value, building trust and connection. Your selling with soul method, hell yes offer, and closing the sale. And the last one, the number 4, which is one of my favorites, and I mentioned it before, is continued client love. Continued client love. Because if they're your soul clients, you want to keep working with them, right? And if you know you can keep helping them, keep helping them. Let me tell you a story about a coach that I once had. Are you all with me still? Because I've been talking at you, right? And I know you've been quiet and not typing in stuff. Just tell me, give me a hell yes. We're nearly done. Are you still with me? Are you with me? Is this useful? Are you getting value from it? Is it helping? Give me like a hell yes, a woohoo, whatever it might be. Or if you've got a question, put in a question. So feel free to do that as I'm talking. So I worked with a coach a couple of years ago who was a really good coach. She really helped me. And the coaching agreement was for a 3-month coaching agreement. So we did the 3 months together. I asked her in like month 2, how do we continue this? And she was like, oh, I'm not sure at the moment. I need to have a think about like what the next step could be. She never came back to me. And after our coaching was finished, she never got in touch with me. Now, I don't know about you, but I really care about the clients that I work with. And even if I've finished working with a client, I will regularly check in. And like, for no reason. It's not because I'm desperate to make money from them or anything, but I want to know how they're doing. I want to say, hey, how are you? How are you feeling? How are things going? Can I help? So continuing that client relationship is really important. And that one coach that I paid that time, you know what? She could have made 4 or 5 times that amount from me because I was in. I liked her coaching. I trusted her. I wanted to have more coaching, but I wasn't going to, like, I almost felt like I was disappointed that she didn't follow up. And I thought, well, if she can't be bothered to follow up, I'm not going to go and chase her. I'll find someone new. Because your clients, in whatever way you work with them, they want to feel like they matter. And if they're ideal clients, if they're soul clients, they do matter, right? And you do care. And yes, we need to make sure that we don't get too wrapped up in our client's world because that can drain our energy. We do need to have some boundaries in place, but you can have those boundaries in place and still really care. You can have those boundaries in place and still like follow up with people. You can have those boundaries in place and still say, you know what? I think this is what you need next. This would be perfect for you because you have their best interest at heart. And so that 4th one is a super simple one, but just think about it. It's a relationship with your clients. You don't just stop speaking to someone one day. It just doesn't work like that, right? So continue that relationship and show them that you care because actually that's worth so much. Okay. Let me read your comments. Okay, I'm in the book. Oh, that's your story, right? Okay, so Helen, this totally speaks to me. A big one to think about. Liz, thank you. So I needed to, oh, that's one I've read. Suzanne, thanks, Claire, awesome, Suzanne. Becky, hell yes. Lucy, same about my retreat, awesome. Janine, I've never given an offer out as in discounted by price, as I'm worth my value. Awesome, yes, and absolutely as it should be. You should never feel like you need to do a discounted price. But also it's different. So it depends if it's aligned, right? There's not a right or wrong about whether you do discounts. So sometimes people do discounts as early bird prices to kind of go, look, for those people who are action takers, I reward that. Sometimes people do discounts because it's the first time they're running the program and they want to build up their confidence and they want to get reviews. But it's individual to us. We decide. We know whether it's aligned or not, don't we? Lucy is laughing. I don't quite know. I can't remember what that was about now. Helen, exactly. It makes you doubt yourself is because they aren't our ideal clients. Absolutely. Gosh, I've missed loads of these. Elaine, yes, Claire, it's totally what happened to me. Oh, about the thing. She's transformation the client. It's the transformation clients get. Yes. You can't put value on that at all. No, you can't, because it totally changes lives. Whereas a previous client I chatted with recently said it completely changed her life. Boom, impact. Yes, they're the people you need to listen to. She's so grateful. So we need to value our impact on clients' lives. 100%, Elaine, yes. Suzanne Wells, go girl, I love it. Lucy, yes, lots of lurkers. Linda, yes, lurkers talk to me about what I've posted in person, but never comment online. Yeah, I'm a bit of a lurker myself, so, you know, like we all do it sometimes, right? Elaine, only realised I have lots of lurkers on your page that don't show themselves. Yes. Helen, yes, so much value. How long on average would you say it takes after starting to be consistent? How long would it take? Helen, how long on average would you say it takes after starting to be consistent? You can be so consistent straight away, because you're consistent day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. You continue being consistent, right? And the more consistent you are, the quicker you're going to get those results, as long as you're showing up fully, you're really owning it, and you're working at that next level. You, Helen, yes, so much value. Awesome. Still with you. Awesome. Great morning. Happy Valentine's Day, Liz. Oh, brilliant. So Janine, my mind is overwhelmed. Yes, because I've thrown loads at you. I'm not surprised at all, Janine. And some there might be a few more of you overwhelmed, right? I wanted to give you as much as I could, because everyone's at different levels. Some people are starting out, some people's been here for a while, so some people will find it much easier because lots of these concepts they've heard, and it's about putting them together in maybe a slightly different way. For some of you, it might be brand new, right? So if it's brand new and you haven't heard some of this stuff, just breathe. Like, it's okay. Just take what you do. You don't need to listen to. So when you show up to each of these lives, right, it's not about taking everything from the live. Even if you take 1 or 2 and you actually like take action on those things, you implement those things, your business is going to move forwards. So don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed and think, oh shit, I've got to do all these things. It's not. It's actually really simple. So it's literally, it's just showing up. It's just giving value in some way. It's just sharing your story. It's thinking about how you sell to people and how that feels good for you. And it's about continuing your client Claire, God, care. Oh dear me, I've clearly talked for too long. So keep it simple. Just take 1 or 2 things, implement those if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. If not, take as much as you can. Go do it or run with it, but stay consistent. So don't try and take too much on and then not stay consistent with it. Little and consistency is better than trying to do it all at once and it only lasting for a few days, because it's not manageable. Okay. Oh my gosh, I think we're done. Is there any other last comments? Helen, it took... Oh, so Helen, maybe you're saying how long did it take to get good at being consistent? It's different for us all. And the things that make you consistent are your why. It's your why. It's calling yourself out. It's saying... I used to have this... So I love Tony Robbins. I also really like Kat Laterzo. And I used to have a picture of both of them downstairs on my office desk, and written across them both, I'd write, what would Tony do? So when my alarm clock went off in the morning and I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, I'm still tired, I need to sleep more, and I'd like press snooze, I'd be like, what would Tony do? What would Tony Robbins do? Has Tony Robbins got an empire because he slept and he pressed a snooze? No, bloody hell, I've got to get up, right? Muzana, hi Muzana, we're nearly done. You're gonna have to watch this back, but awesome that you're here. So you know, play little games with yourself. So for me, I have alarms on my phone, I have post-it notes everywhere. I think about what would that next level me do. I have things like, what would Tony Robbins do? And I take action on that. Helen, you pop in, you think, I mean, how long does it take to see results? That's quite different. And it depends how many things you've got in place. So some people can get results in a matter of weeks. If you've already got a bit of an audience, if you've already got lots of connections, it's going to be quicker because you've already got people who know, like, and trust you. And the moment you put something out there, there's going to be people who want to say yes. If you've got no audience at all, it's going to take a little bit of time. 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Like, just think about it. There's a lot of you in here who are quite new to our group, right? Who you've seen that I was running this challenge, you've joined the group, you've hopped on for the challenge. So in a relatively short period of time, we've built that know, like, and trust. You saw my message, you said yes to getting in the challenge, you joined the group, you've showed up to the challenges, you've got involved. So I hope that you now know whether you resonate with me or not. I hope that you've had enough value to go, actually, oh my God, like, she gets me. She knows my story. She's helped me with this. I can see that she could really help me go to the next level in my business. So it can happen really quickly when you go full out with it. Suzanne, am I the only one who's been very emotional through all this? I'm sure you haven't. Actually, I've had some really lovely messages from people saying similar things. So no, you're not. And I've been highly emotional, might not be crying, but I'm like, oh my God, I need to go have a sleep now. I'm worn out. I certainly need coffee. Oh, you're not alone, Suzanne. Love that. Love that you're talking to each other. Mizana, couldn't get away. Don't worry, Mizana, like, go watch the replay and message me any questions that you've got. Okay, oh my gosh, beautiful people. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't let any of this overwhelm you. Go and take action on 1 or 2 things now. And actually, what I'd like you to do, so today's little task around this is I want you to go into the Own It Now group. You're already there because you're watching this. So in the group, I want you to do a post for day 3, because remember, there are prizes to be won if you've done all 3 days. And I want you to put so of those 4 keys of creating your aligned client attraction system, I want you to just put very briefly, you don't need to go into massive depth with this, what it is. So visibility, where is it for you? Giving value, how do you do it? Selling, what's your selling method? And how do you continue to connect with your clients? So let me say that again. Of those 4 keys, I want you to make a comment for each key. Keep it simple. We don't need like massive essays, so don't worry, it's not going to take you ages. But how are you visible? Where are you visible? How do you give your value and build that know, like, and trust? What's your selling with soul method? Feel free to share your hell yes offer. And how do you close a sale? And how do you keep giving that client love? Okay, Elaine, thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you all of you for being here. Now, make sure you're here for tomorrow. Tomorrow is huge. I've got some massive stuff for tomorrow. We've got to finish strong. We're going to be doing the prizes for tomorrow. I've got something amazing to share with you that I'm really excited about. And so it continues. So I'll see you tomorrow. Be on here tomorrow. If you've got any questions, you can pop them in the group. You can message me personally. Go do your thing. Day 3 challenge. Pop your post in so that you're in to win one of the lovely prizes. And just thank you very, very much. Have a fabulous Valentine's Day. Lots and lots of love. And I hope you found it super useful. Take care. Bye. Got to find the end broadcast button again now. Bye. Oh, where is it?